Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'll be taking another Friday look at how the media is presenting an aspect of Brexit. In this case, the reactions from the EU to the UK's imminent threat to the Northern Ireland Protocol. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So I'm going to take this one story, probably the main Brexit story this week, despite the French fishing round, because that seemed to end almost as it began, and look at how different media outlets are presenting it to their readers, in particular the Express and the Mail. Now I'm going to kick off with the Daily Mail, a hard Brexit pro-Tory newspaper, but aimed at the masses, and it has one of the highest circulations of any newspaper. Their headline carried a warning from the Irish Prime Minister against the UK rewriting the rules of Brexit with the Northern Ireland Protocol. All very urgent, as Frost was meeting in Paris yesterday to discuss these matters. It's believed that Cabinet Ministers have already discussed the timing of whatever they intend to do under cover of the misrepresented Article 16 of the Withdrawal Agreement. Now, if they have a date firmly in mind, and we don't know that they do, but if they do, then each week that goes by without a breakthrough is another week closer to crunch time. If the UK do trigger a unilateral suspension of even key parts of the protocol, the EU are left with three options. Option 1, do nothing. Now, I do keep getting comments on videos from people saying that the EU should just ignore Johnson's antics. Well, this is option number 1. But by doing so, they leave a massive hole in their single market. Even if you believe that UK standards are still on a level with the EU, which at the moment they are, you still leave the single market open to lower standard goods coming into Britain, where the law has been changed since Brexit, and then flooding into the single market via the Republic of Ireland without checks. Also bear in mind, not all UK goods are tariff-free for exports to the EU. So it'd be another way to bypass tariffs on the goods where they still do exist. So obviously this isn't an option. The second option is to cut Ireland out of the single market, set up borders around the Republic of Ireland to the rest of the EU. This would be hilarious to Brexiteers and is what some of their more insane brethren have actively called for. Obviously this isn't an option either. The third option is to install a hard border inside Ireland between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, as would be required under international trading laws. This would certainly draw the United States in, but all hell would break loose in Northern Ireland and around, and neither the Republic of Ireland nor the wider EU want anything to do with that. Needless to say, this is not an option. But that's it, there are no other options, and none of these are options. So what do you do when none of the options are actually options? The natural consequence of not picking any of those options is that number 1 automatically applies, and you are in breach of international rules because international rules states that option 3 has to apply. You have a gaping hole in the single market and you are annoying lots of countries around the world. This would lead to the collapse of the entire system. If you put up a security wall around a property and then leave gates wide open without even any surveillance, no security guards, no cameras, no nothing, what purpose does the wall serve? None. Might as well not even exist, and the property within is completely undefended. That way lies the credible threat to the EU. For all the talk of the Mail and the Express talking about the EU collapsing, that would make it collapse. So what the EU need to do is make sure that the UK do not leave a hole in their single market. That means they will be forced to throw everything they can politically to manage to dissuade the UK government from such action. And the Daily Mail, you would imagine from its rhetoric, is looking forward to this showdown. And I still think it is. But I have to say that their article lacks the usual jingoistic defiance. It talks about the UK seeking a legal way to make this work, thereby making it clear there is currently no belief that the UK's plans can be legally sound. The Mail talked about the offer from the EU that would have cut checks by 80%. Now, the Mail was on more familiar territory at the end when it quoted a government spokesperson describing France as having backed down early this week when it was actually the UK authorities who did so, but I've already discussed that in an earlier video. But the uses of this unchallenged statement is intended to convince their readers that the EU, or France alone in this case, made certain threats and then didn't follow through. The intention in this context presumably being to calm people down about the threats now being made by the EU in the event of the UK triggering Article 16. Ah, don't worry about it. It's all bluster, is the implication. They've done this before and they've backed down. But like I said, the general tone of the article was not as in your face as it has been in the past. Now, maybe that's because we would not see a repeat of the French situation. Because there, Macron threatened specific serious action. The UK government pretended to face him down, then capitulated. Given that Macron had the action he wanted, he then suspended the threats, and the British press could go, Macron didn't do it after all, he backed down. Hard to see the same would play out with Northern Ireland. The UK government say that they want the European Court of Justice to play no part in Northern Ireland. This isn't happening while Northern Ireland retains access to the single market, because the whole point of the ECJ is to judge on union law relating to the single market. This is not political, that's just a fact of law. Also, the EU have not made specific threats as Macron has. So there's currently no scenario where the press get to claim that the EU backed down because it didn't follow through on certain threats, because they haven't made any. This suggests the EU intend to apply their measures only if and when the UK commits itself, at which point it will be tricky for the UK government to back down without being seen to do so. Doesn't mean it's impossible. Almost anything is possible with a corrupt media backing you. But the same understated presentation was also evident in the Daily Express, that other aggressively hard Brexit paper. This time their headline was quite in your face, though not in the usual way. Go on, we dare you, it says. EU challenge UK to game of chicken over Article 16 trigger. Maybe designed to get a reaction from their readers of going, come on then, we'll take them on at their game. But the article itself, unusually, is just a presentation of facts. Not the full facts, of course, this is a British newspaper after all, but it described the Northern Ireland Protocol as existing to avoid a hard border with Ireland, that the deal keeps Northern Ireland effectively in the single market for goods, and that it results in some checks from Britain to Northern Ireland. Right. It's almost as if it was written by someone who knows what they're talking about. The Northern Ireland Protocol is not in this article an outrageous slap in the face of democracy, nor are the checks due to the spiteful EU. No, they're all a consequence of Brexit. In fact, there's really nothing in this article that pours scorn on the notion that there will be no ill effects to Britain if Article 16 is triggered, as they put it. And this isn't a case of the Express changing its tune, don't imagine that, because only this week they proclaimed the great victory of the UK government in defeating Macron and forcing him to back down. But they lavished their praise on Liz Truss rather than Boris Johnson. They claimed she'd come up with this brilliant plan to bypass Calais, and that made Macron think again. I mean, apart from the fact there has been no such plan detailed, how do you even do that? Oh, just going to bypass Calais. Are you? How are you going to do that then? Consider that we can't get enough trade through the Dover-Calais ports right now because of our Brexit trade barriers. That's what's largely hurting our exports. We can't actually get things out of the country into their destination. If there were other ports standing idle, we wouldn't need the government to do something. We wouldn't need all those piss-stained lorry parks in Kent. Businesses would just naturally use those. Oh, there's extra capacity over in Hull. Well, just go to Hull then. And how did the government come up with a plan to get more businesses to send their stuff to these mythical ports that are just sitting around with loads of extra capacity? Seriously, how does that work? Do the government not think businesses are aware of the location of these ports? Do they think there are hidden ports in Belgium or the Netherlands, secretly built in the aftermath of the Napoleonic Wars, just in case we had a future Barney with France? So it's not like the Express has suddenly started talking sense in general. So I wonder why they in the Mail have been so cautious and above all accurate, even if not complete, in their approach to reporting on the Article 16 situation at the moment. It may be short-lived. I mean, come the event when it comes, I struggle to believe that they won't come out in their Brexit bashing form again. Or maybe they just want to be a bit careful to avoid being seen to support an action that hurts British consumers and workers very hard. After all, they don't know what the EU intend to do by way of response. None of us do. And if we don't know what they intend to do, we can't really judge what the effect on the public's going to be, can we? But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.